So what is MavAttack's Game of the Year? What's going on, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to another episode of MavAttack. Now, 2014 has had its ups and downs. We've gotten excited, we've been disappointed, we've even laughed at some really terrible games, but I'm here to bring some positivity into the world of gaming because it's so easy to lose focus on the good things and focus so much on the negatives. So, without further interruption, here are my top 10 games of 2014 in no particular order, and at the end, MavAttack's 2014 Game of the Year. Enjoy.
The Wolf Among Us.
Telltale Games works wonders on the narrative interactive point-and-click adventure genre, and The Wolf Among Us proves they do what they do the best. While the first episode was released in 2013, the remainder of the game took place in 2014, so I kinda consider this game a 2014 game. Playing as the big bad wolf, you and other fairy tale creatures now live in New York City, trying to survive in the slums. The Wolf Among Us is based off the comic book series Fables, and is one of the best Telltale games to date. I put The Wolf Among Us above any other Telltale game, yes, even the Walking Dead game, when it comes to story and gameplay, and that's why it ultimately is on my best list of 2014.
South Park, The Stick of Truth.
This is the ultimate South Park lover's dream. You literally play the game as if you're playing an episode of South Park. Obsidian's South Park: The Stick of Truth is an RPG adventure game, which starts you off creating a character, wandering the city of South Park, meeting characters from the show, encountering Easter eggs, and getting into some really intense fights and scenarios that will have you questioning what exactly is you're playing. South Park: The Stick of Truth is one of my favorite games of 2014. My favorite part? Being transported into Mr. Slave's ass.
Child of Light.
Child of Light is a platforming RPG developed by Ubisoft Montreal. You play as Aurora, a child who is stolen from her home and in her quest to return must bring back the sun, the moon, and the stars held by the mysterious Queen of the Night. It is a fun, side-scrolling RPG that focuses on atmosphere just as much as the leveling up RPG elements in the game. If you're a fan of Final Fantasy series or even Grandia, you'll feel at home with Child of Light. This is a must-play for any RPG enthusiast.
Wolfenstein: The New Order.
Wolfenstein: The New Order is a direct sequel to the 2009 game Wolfenstein. You play as BJ Blazkowicz, taking part in a raid against his nemesis Death's Head, Island Fortress, and Lab when all goes wrong. Blazkowicz suffers a massive head injury and remains in a vegetative state for 14 years, where he is woken up to Nazis having won the war and are ruling the world. The reason this game is in my list because it takes me back to the fun days of shooters where it was over the top and felt more like an arcade game rather than trying to be something serious like Call of Duty or Battlefield. You could play the game your way, taking multiple paths and using a wide range of weapons and tactics. You could go in loud with machine guns, guns blazing, or go in stealthy with throwing knives and stealth mechanics. This was one of the best shooters of the year, and it still resonates with me as I think back on 2014.
Shovel Knight.
Shovel Knight is actually one of the best games I played in 2014, period. It took me back to the nostalgic days of 8 to 16-bit graphics and fun and challenging platforming. I actually did a review of this game when it first came out on the channel, and you can click on the screen now to watch that. It's an independently created game, and it shows that indie studios do truly make some of the best games because of the freedom that they have to do what they want. You could dig up treasures, earn new powers, fight creative bosses, and explore the world of Shovel Knight to save his beloved Shield Knight. If you want to know more about the game, check out my review on my channel, link below or on the screen right now.
Middle-earth: Shadow of Mordor.
I'm gonna be honest, I fell asleep on this game and it was probably the dumbest decision of my gaming life. Shadow of Mordor is set in the Lord of the Rings universe where you play as Talion, a man bent on revenge. He merges with a wraith who doesn't know much about who he is or where he comes from, so this is where your journey ultimately begins in Middle-earth. With the Batman Arkham series-like combat to fluid Assassin's Creed parkour, Shadow of Mordor is that perfect blend of action, stealth, and story all mixed into one. I think the best part of Shadow of Mordor is the Nemesis system. Basically, when you fight orcs and they happen to best you and kill you, they'll remember who you are, how you fought, and so the next time you come and fight them, they'll increase in skill, and they'll remember how they killed you and taunt you based on how they killed you. It makes you want to destroy them even more, and it makes you mad. It's another must-play of 2014.
Alien Isolation.
One of 2014's most underrated titles, this game was possibly my favorite game of 2014. Not only did it have atmosphere, but it straight up scared the crap out of me. The AI was unpredictable, which some gave negative points for towards the game. You play as Amanda Ripley, who was looking for her mother, Ellen Ripley, from the first Alien movie. If you loved Ridley Scott's Alien, the very first one, you'll love this game, period. The enemies you encounter to the weapons and gadgets you can use in the game really set the mood for the time and place. It's honestly a really good time. Repetitive at some parts, and I thought the game was gonna end a couple of times where it didn't. This game was pretty awesome for what it was. If you want to see a review of Alien Isolation, click on the screen right now, or check out the link in the description below. Alien Isolation is amazing.
The Evil Within.
The Evil Within brought survival horror back. Yeah, I said it. The Evil Within brought that same feeling of playing Resident Evil, Silent Hill, any of those classic fun survival horror games. I mean, the director of the game literally created the very first Resident Evil game. You play as Sebastian Castellanos, and you investigate a massive murder at a mental asylum when your whole world is flipped upside down. You'll encounter crazy monsters, unique weapons, and questioning scenarios where you'll always be questioning whether or not what you're doing is real or it's just all in your head. Click the screen now or click the link in the description for a review from myself of the game. Another fantastic experience in 2014 in horror.
Far Cry 4.
Far Cry 3 was referred to as Skyrim with guns for a good reason. It really feels like a current age Skyrim. Far Cry 4 takes the formula of what Ubisoft did with Far Cry 3 and expanded upon them, not taking things away but making the things that were there and worked even better. The goal of Far Cry 4 is simple. AJ goes back to his parents' homeland to spread his dead mother's ashes as part of her dying wish. As simple as it may sound, it's nowhere as close to simple. Elephants, grappling hooks, co-op, Far Cry 4 is probably this year's best shooter to come.
Super Smash Bros. Wii U.
Finally, taking the classic Smash Bros. And expanding on it by a ton, this year's Super Smash Bros. For the Wii U is absolutely amazing. It's not just a button-mashing game. A ton of game modes and game content. You could spend hours unlocking trophies, characters, and all types of goodies in game. Online is very stable, and you can get super competitive. The character lineup is massive. There's just too much to this game for it not to be considered one of 2014's best video games. So what is MavAttack's Game of the Year? Shadow of Mordor. Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor. Middle-earth, Shadow of Mordor does so much right, from the smooth gameplay, to the combat, to the very interesting storyline, even the nemesis system and your enemies. This was truly my favorite game of 2014. There's too much the game did right, and it kept me wanting to return to it every time I'd shut the game off. But with all that being said, thank you guys so much for watching. I really hope you guys enjoyed this video. Leave a comment down below and let me know what your favorite games of 2014 were, or your game of the year, because I really want to hear what your opinions are and why, of course. Let me know why it was your game of the year, but leave a like if you did. Consider subscribing and join the Mav movement. But I'll see you all on the next episode of MavAttack.